Hi, and welcome to Haunted AF, the podcast of real ghost stories told by real people. We are your hosts. I'm Julie Fisk.
And I'm Rebecca Black.
And welcome back.
Woohoo!
We took a little break last week to revisit some old COVID episodes. I hope you got a chance to listen to that one because it was really fun. Before we get started, though, we need to welcome all of our new listeners.
Hello.
Yeah, we've gotten over 20,000 new followers on Facebook. What? Since the last time we taped. So we're assuming that at least some of you are actually listening. Of course, Instagram stayed exactly the same, like it always does.
I will take 20% of those people listening.
And I'll
be happy.
10, even 1 or 2, that would be fine. We also have to say hello to Asher Grodman, who plays Trevor, the pantsless ghost on Ghosts. He just liked one of our reels on Instagram.
Super pumped about this.
Yes, so we're just going to make the huge assumption that he's also now listening. So, hi, Asher.
Hi, Asher. We love you.
Hi.
You are one of my favorite ghosts on Ghosts.
I know. And do you know, originally they had him in boxer shorts?
Really?
Yes. And they got rid of the boxers. So now
I'm kind
he's
of
just
happy
like,
about that.
Oh, I love it.
I do love his shirt is extra long and buttoned all the way. And I'm like, no dude wears a shirt that long.
Oh, I know. I love it, though. All of you, Asher included, please send your spooky stories to us. Those go to hauntedafpodcast@gmail.com.
And we've got to send some love to our newest patron, Dolores Riggins, who now has access to years of exclusive Haunted AF content. Remember, if you're tired of listening to our ads, you can pay the $5 a month and avoid them altogether. Plus, you're going to get episodes early with a pregame, which is us rambling on about who knows what.
Yeah, sometimes it's spooky, sometimes it's just us.
Sometimes it's just us mad at jeans.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. You can take care of all of that at patreon.com/hauntedaf.
That was a really dumb rant.
But I felt great afterwards.
We lost followers after that, like a handful of them. But we did have a few people come on and say thank you. That made me feel better.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's all about helping just those few.
Yeah. And I even edited out like 10 minutes of the bitching. I'm not going to lie. I took out everything about cargo shorts.
Which is fine. That was just for us. That was just therapy for us.
Yes, it was. Okay, so we got to get started this week with some audio we mentioned a few weeks ago. This email is from Sam in Ontario, Canada, and it says, I've been listening to your podcast for about half a year. Absolutely love everything about it. Thank you, Sam. I have a recording that I captured last night around 3:20 a.m.
The witching hour.
Yep. I was home alone because my wife took our 3-year-old twins to her brother's house for a sleepover. Dang. I have a sleep app to record my sleeping habits, and this is what it captured. I had to go to the bathroom, and you can hear me getting back into bed, but you can also hear a man whisper, "Where is he?" This is the first time I have ever encountered something like this. A friend of mine said that maybe it was looking for my son, which is a little more frightening than if he was looking for me. What do you think? I guess I'm going to have a chat with my kids and ask if they ever see or talk to an imaginary person. Maybe don't do that.
No.
Keep up the great work, and thanks for all of the awesome stories from other listeners. And this is from Sam. So are you ready?
Yeah.
So what I did, I took a little chunk of the audio that he sent, so you can hear him kind of like rustling
around,
getting back into bed. And then at the very end, I did isolate the "where is he" a second time, and I made it louder. So here we go. Okay, so that's the second one.
You can definitely hear a "where is he."
You can definitely hear that voice. So one of the questions was, could it be you talking in your sleep?
Right.
That's what someone asked him. The thing that sounds different to me, the "where is he" sounds further away than the big breathy sigh at the end.
Right. I mean, could he have said it like murmuring under his breath? Like, where is he?
Maybe, but it sounds very, so when you murmur, you're kind of like, where is he?
Yeah.
This sounds very like there's enunciation in there.
It's pretty clear.
So let's listen to it one more time. Let me know what y'all think. That and the tone of the big, that sigh.
Yeah.
They're very different to me.
They are different. I agree.
There's just the whispers, these whispery voices that we get all the time. In a way, it sounds like the same voice to me. Have you ever noticed that?
Like what do you, oh.
It sounds like the same breathy male voice.
That like in everybody's audio, you mean? Like, oh, that's so creepy.
Except we did have one recently where it was like a British accent.
Yeah. Have you ever had a female voice?
That's a very good question. I don't
think so either. I think it's always been a male voice.
What is that?
I don't know. That's weird. That extra level of creepiness to it.
For real. Yeah. We'd love to hear your theories. hauntedafpodcast@gmail.com.
All right. Our next story comes from Karen, who, by the way, you have hurricane named after you in 2025. I'm on there too. I'm on there too. It's spelled correctly.
So exciting.
No, I'm a dork. All right. So Karen says, hi, Julie and Rebecca. Love the podcast. I always feel like I'm with friends, catching up and drinking when I'm listening to you.
Aww.
Heck yeah. Now for my ghost story. Growing up, my mom's side of the family was super close. We'd be over at my cousin's house or they'd be at our house almost every night of the week.
That sounds so awesome.
It sounds so fun. One of my aunts moved her family to a house a few blocks away from us. It was painted black and had white shutters, which wasn't in back then. And seeing it gave me a pit in my stomach. They moved in and everything was okay, though my aunt and uncle would often wake up and find the phone cord unplugged in their bedroom. My uncle got home before anyone else one day and heard all the doors in their basement slam shut at once. He went downstairs to check it out, and all the doors were open. While he was down there, he heard someone walking upstairs and thought that my aunt was home, so he called her name but realized he was still home alone.
Yeesh.
Another time, oh God, there's more.
There is a lot more.
Another time, my aunt and uncle were getting ready to leave, and my uncle went to blow out a candle in the bathroom. Somebody been in there.
Somebody blowing it up in the bathroom. Sorry.
Hey, at least they lit a candle. God bless them.
Yeah.
As soon as he got to the doorway, the candle blew itself out. Then one day, my youngest came tearing up the stairs from the basement, saying that the organ down there was playing by itself. My aunt and uncle didn't believe her, so all three of them went back downstairs to check it out. Nothing happened until they hit the last step. That is when it started blaring. And it was unplugged.
Woo.
Oh, my Lord.
Wow, talk about burying the lead with that one.
Right? Oh, my gosh. The last thing I remember about that house was when we were playing in their backyard. We would always find bones. What? We showed our parents, but of course they said it was nothing to be alarmed about. Eye roll. Okay. I think they were just freaked out and didn't want to feed into our imaginations. I hope these make it on the podcast. Cheers, Karen. The bones?
Yeah, which... probably nothing. I mean, unless like who was back there just chowing down on chicken wings, like maybe animals killing things. But if
possibly
you're finding bones on a regular basis,
call the police.
And also,
can you retroactively do that?
We've referenced Herb Baumeister too many times to not automatically go to.
Thank you. Agreed.
Could be a human. Just could be a human. You know, maybe.
What?
Yeah. Oh, you ready for this?
Yes, please.
Spooky news, it's weird but real. Haunted houses, a ghostly squeal. Lock your doors, don't take a snooze. It's time for more spooky news.
I'm a little embarrassed by like the jamming out because
I love it so much.
Because I love it. Thank you, Scott.
I like that you're embarrassed. I was legit thinking I should buy a cape for the next time so I can whip it around while he's doing it. Like, how cool would it be if I had a cape and was like, whoosh.
When I'm editing the video back to this, though, I see myself and I hate myself. When I'm like, girl, don't get off.
Let's show it to your daughter so they can really hate on us.
Oh, my God. They would hate it so much.
What? Sorry, it'd be hilarious to do a social media post of them watching us and then ripping us to shreds.
Oh my, no. I just died a little inside at the thought of that.
It
yes,
hurts.
It's terrible. Okay, so spooky news. We have a ton this week, and I'm sure everybody's heard the biggest one, of course, the news about Aaron Goodwin from Ghost Adventures. His wife allegedly talking to a hitman and planning to have him murdered. So we got an update to that one in the pregame this week, but we also found a story about some paranormal activity that seemed to be caused by storms in Missouri.
Yeah, so evidently big storm blew through Kansas City on March 5th, which honestly we're all having the heavy storms right now. We just got out of the Dust Bowl basically here.
Oh yeah, we had the Dust Bowl. We were hiding in our closet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, whatever. Texas, hello.
Anyway, the storms caused a power outage at the Belvoir Winery Inn. Am I saying that right?
Belvoir.
Belvoir Winery and Inn, which isn't uncommon, but one of the guests claimed that during the outage, a hand reached up under the sheets and grabbed his leg. Now, the guest did not leave, oddly enough, but he did end up telling the inn's owner about it on his way out the next day. He even said he might come back and stay there again just to see if he experienced anything else.
I love that.
Same.
I
like,
love
go
that.
back. Yes, please. Now, the Belvoir was an orphanage from the late 1800s until the 1950s when it became a nursing home. So that's like a double threat right
I was
there.
going to say, all you need is like a wartime hospital, and it's the trifecta.
Absolutely. So the operations manager, Jesse Limencooler, am I saying it right?
I feel like you are. Nice
Thank you.
work, lady.
Landed it on the first try.
Yeah.
So Limencooler says he's experienced voices, doors opening and closing on their own, and the piano playing when no one was around, and even a few apparitions.
Wow.
That's a whole lot going on.
That's
in
a
there.
lot.
So maybe we should just take a road trip. Time to go to Kansas City.
Look at this place.
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, that is seriously,
Oh, that is
seriously
so
haunted.
beautiful.
That's a beautiful place. And they have weddings there.
But look, it does look like an old orphanage.
Yeah.
It does look like an old folks home. Mm-hmm. Throw a sane asylum in there. We got something
there it
cooking.
is. Yeah, absolutely. No, this place is beautiful.
Like, I want to have a wedding there.
I want to film something there. Something
Same.
spooky. How far is the drive to Kansas City
like
from
I
here?
feel like it's about 8 hours.
Road trip time.
We could do it.
We also got a story from BuzzFeed about one of their writers who was an extra on a Ghost Adventures type show last summer.
Oh, I was about to say, we got a lot of Ghost Adventures news.
Yeah. Well, he never says which show he was on or what
okay.
specific story they were filming, but he had an actual paranormal encounter while he was there taping. So they taped in the actual haunted location where a lot of stuff has happened, and he was playing the ghost on the show, and then they all actually saw the ghost while they were filming. It's an amazing story. So we're going to post a link to that one. It's kind of long, so you need to go and read all of that. We also got this story from Adam on Instagram about news out of Memphis, and he said it happened near his house. So the story is from WREG News about a woman who came home and found little bloody streaks all over her house.
No way.
They were on her walls, on her clothes, all over the place. So she called the police, and they went through the house and found nothing. Police decided it had to be a raccoon or a rat running around, but the bloody spots are only in patches, and they're pretty far off the ground.
Yeah.
They also never found any dead animals. Plus, it didn't touch any of the food she had. So it's like, surely if it was an animal, it'd be going through the trash and stuff like that.
Agreed.
So the woman wanted to remain anonymous, but she told WREG News that the thing that scared her most was it reminded her of an incident from 2 years ago. She said, quote, I was taking groceries up to my apartment, and a guy, I don't know who he is because he hasn't been caught yet, he stabbed me 12 times.
What?
In my face, my head, my chest, and my hands. The man was never found or arrested. So
What?
I know, right? So there's the little bloody spots right there.
Okay. That is at the top of a window.
Look at this one.
That's at the top of a door.
That's at the top of a door frame. So again, it's like, how does a rat, and why would it
or
be
a raccoon even get up that high?
get up that high, and why would there not be? So yeah, here's some more.
I'm sorry, but this looks like fingerprints or like a hand smear.
It does. And
I
then
think.
look at this. That looks, what does that look like? It's on her clothes.
Ew.
Yeah. So these are just some of the places they
You
still.
can clearly see it. It is red on that lock. Like somebody turned
Like
it
somebody
with their bloody hands.
with bloody fingers. Yeah, that's really messed up. So if you're not watching on YouTube, go to hauntedaf.com and look for the companion blog. It's episode 7, season 11 to find this story and all the rest of them.
Oh, that was crazy. All right, our next one comes from Hannah. I grew up in an old farmhouse in rural Indiana. We all had small experiences in the house and on the property, probably because my grandfather passed away from a heart attack there.
Aw.
These experiences were never malicious or scary, but they were spooky to me as a kid. We have all heard our names called or seen shadow figures out of the corners of our eyes. One time, my mom and I were on an evening walk in the woods on our property. We were talking about my grandpa when about 20 feet in front of us, a small gust of wind kicked up a swirl of leaves. It lasted about 10 seconds, but we both just stopped and watched it with wide eyes. My mom has also experienced the vacuum being unplugged while cleaning the house on multiple occasions. Once when she backtracked to plug it back in, she found it looped around the handle of a door. We tried to explain it away, but she said it wasn't possible. I'm trying to think, like, I've caught my vacuum cord on a lot of things, never the door handle.
Yeah, and it's like if it's looped around the door handle, how would it still then get unplugged? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you're right, because that
'Cause
would
it
have
seems
stopped
like
it.
would have pulled it and
Yeah,
stopped.
agree.
But I don't know. It's time to get a Dyson.
Get that battery operated,
yeah,
baby.
seriously.
Is that the one that you get the spirits out with sometimes? Dyson, we need a Dyson sponsor.
That's a really good idea.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Oh my
Just go through and
gosh.
suck all that shit up.
Sorry, Hannah has more to say.
Okay.
Once when it happened, she swore she saw the top of a man's head bobbing down the stairs. She says it would match my grandpa's personality since he was always ornery and joking around. We eventually moved out and my aunt took a few pictures before we left. There was a faint shadow of a man wearing a cowboy hat in one of them, and she still has it packed away somewhere. Hannah.
Okay, Hannah.
I want to know if our granddad wore cowboy hats.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
And we need a picture. We need that picture of the cowboy in the window.
Totally.
Hannah did send some pictures of the house, but she does not. She's like, my aunt keeps everything. She's never going to be able to find that photo. So hopefully you listened to the Monsters Among Us episode that we did 2 weeks ago, where Derek shared his all-time favorite story with us. He's so cool because he not only sent us the actual audio, he said that we could share it on our podcast.
Amazing.
Which, if you guys know paranormal podcasts, we are not that friendly.
No, we are not.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would let anybody play it. But
I'd be like, sorry, I got to force you to come listen to season 4, episode 3
Yeah.
to get any audio.
Well, and Derek did such a great job of just telling
Right?
us the story, but he sent Mac's Bigfoot Mama story. So get ready for this.
Hey, Derek, this is Mac from Mississippi. I was just listening to a podcast and heard that my story didn't come through. It's too staticky, so I figured I'd record it and email it to you. That way the quality would be a little bit better. Like I said, I was out deer hunting. I was in a climb stand, and I climbed about 30 foot up, and I was sitting there. I lost my balance, and footing got out from underneath me, and I fell. Didn't have a safety harness on or anything like that. I should have, and I do from this point on. But I fell, and I was 30 foot up in a tree. So when I hit the bottom limbs, it's probably 8 to 10 foot off the ground, and they kind of caught me. But I later found out that I had broken my back and I couldn't move. But when I hit, I passed out. I blacked out. I wore glasses, and my glasses fell off. My gun went somewhere. I later found it, but at the time, it just fell. I get awoken off the tree with agonizing pain. I'm 5'10", 320, 325. I'm not a little guy. But I was being lifted off these limbs and supported underneath my neck and on my rear end by just these gigantic hands. And my glasses fell off, and without those, man, I am blind. I can't see a piece of paper 3 foot from me. I can't see unless it's right up on me. What happened next is still troubling. I was lowered to the ground by this creature. I guess you're going to call it a Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever your deal on that is. And it was a female, and I say it was a female because the first thing, it had a feminine looking face. If that makes sense. It wasn't. I hear a lot of people on these podcasts talk about it looked like a big silverback gorilla and all that. This wasn't that. It was ape-like, but like the cheekbones and the face was more slender than you would look like. I'd say if I looked at gorillas online or in the zoo or pictures, the big old wide face and all that. It was more of a contoured face, and she was also had breasts, and the breasts were she was lactating. And I'm sitting there in agony, man, and I'm scared to death. I don't know what is going on. And she takes her breast and puts it in my mouth, and she tries to get me to drink milk from her breast. And she squeezes her breast, and a little bit of milk gets in my mouth, and it is disgusting. I'm talking about it's just the nastiest thing I've ever tasted. But she, during this time, is being so nurturing. It reminded me, now looking back on it, looking at videos of Coco the gorilla with her kittens, how she would nudge them and love on them and try to get them close to her. And that's what this gorilla, she was worried about me. It's really weird. While all that was going on, man, I'm panicking, but I can't move. I got taken to the hospital later after I was found. After I didn't come home, they came out looking for me, and I had a broken back. But as she was doing that, back behind her, there was something much, much larger than she was. We have wild boars here in the South, in Mississippi. I live in central Mississippi, right on the Alabama line. And we have wild pig here that they're pretty big. They can get 260, 300 pounds for a wild boar. They can do a lot of damage. But what was behind her, I never saw the full vision of it because I couldn't see that far. But the sound that it made, it was like it was communicating with her, but it was so deep and so guttural. And it's just like it went through my chest and went all into my body, and it was pulsating. And man, when I heard that, I knew that I was either something was coming to kill me. I was done for. But she turned around and she would kind of communicate, like do her little noise, and then it just got me. It got really aggressive and light, and then she kind of pushed me away, not really aggressively, but kind of like, okay, I'm through. And then she got up and she left. But man, I'm telling you, whatever that was behind her, I'm glad that it didn't come over there. Man, it just sounded like a beast. I mean, just a beast. And it just shook me to my core whenever it made that noise. I could feel it in my whole body, like it was sitting on my chest. If you left and whatever was in the woods with her left too, I'm suspecting that was a male. And then my family come and found me. But that's my story. Appreciate it.
Wow. I got nothing.
Speechless.
Which
very rarely happens.
The whole time I kept trying to I was listening for a smile. Because I'm like, if this is someone pulling our leg,
I agree. Yeah.
which I just have to think it is, or pulling Derek's or whatever. It's like, how do you get through telling that whole story without losing your
That's
shit?
what I'm saying. I'm like,
point?
if it's a joke or he's lying, like give that man an Oscar because like he was playing it straight the whole way through.
Yeah, Matt, get an agent because you're
Wow.
good. You're
Wow.
really, really good. The only thing I kept thinking about was Sasquatch Sunset. Is that what it was? The
Have
movie?
you seen it? I have not seen it.
Yeah.
But it looks amazing.
I don't know if amazing is the word that I would use, and I feel like if you can smoke a big bowl beforehand,
I
that
literally was just thinking that.
that would help tremendously.
Okay.
We did watch it all the way through. It is oddly engaging. I think more than anything, what's her name? Riley Keough.
Uh-huh.
I just think she's amazing. I love her so much. I'd kind of watch her in anything.
Yeah.
And she's really good, but I had a hard time figuring out like who was the female Sasquatch.
I was about to say who was who.
And who was the male.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's, wow. Your thoughts. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Greatest story ever. Thank you, Derek. Monsters Among Us.
Weirdest.
That was
It was all the things.
All the things, for real.
We had a Bigfoot teat involved. I don't think you can ever go wrong with that. All right, well, guys. This is very like somber. Let's go into the next portion of the podcast.
There's no following up with that. There's just no. We gotta end it.
We do.
honestly.
We have to end it, but at the same time, I also have to tell you that we need your stories desperately. Please write them down, email them to hauntedafpodcast@gmail.com. You can record yourself telling it. Also, don't forget to keep checking in back on our social media pages for details about the 1-800 number, because one of these days it will happen. Julie's going to get it done. Right, Julie? We think. Yes?
I'm working on it. I promise you, I'm working on it. I've sent all these really angry emails to the company.
Oh,
it's just,
no.
Yeah,
That's not your fault.
Well, no, and they have been responding, but then we were on the road. So, okay. And gird your loins for next week.
Gird.
Because we have got a creepy haunted mirror story to share, complete with video. It's so amazing. And an update to one of our Behind the Pillow dreams.
Okay.
That is truly terrifying.
Oh, no.
Like, if you don't want any of those dreams to be real, this is the one.
No.
For real. Yeah.
No.
In the meantime, send all that scary stuff to hauntedafpodcast@gmail.com. And please send it there and not in our DMs. Okay. Yeah. Because I just found one from last Christmas for like 2023 Christmas. Yeah. Because it got lost with everything. And it was a really cool story. So send all that stuff, hauntedafpodcast@gmail.com, so we can use it on the next Haunted AF.